Great rider, and do remember him at the club here many years ago as well.
He's a rookie in the 400s, wasn't he? 2008?
Something like that. He was one of my pupils many years ago. I don't think I taught him very much, though. Right, away we go then. Phil Atkinson hooks up beautifully, but Josh gets away quite nicely. Somebody from the second and third row, though, has got away well, because Atkinson's away at the head of the field there, but that's a good scrap behind him. I'm not quite sure who's doing what. Somebody pulling out very early.
Already. Yeah, retirement already, unfortunately. The end of the pit lane. I'll keep an eye on the 400s. The red lights are on for the 400s, and away they go. And it's a good start there, in fact, for the number 9 machine is Kobe Perry, and the number 2 machine of Andy Gill. So Hayden Smith coming through as well on bike 25 as they all make their way in towards Paddock Hill Bend. But it is going to be, that's Dave Lindemann going the long way around of Andy Gill then. So side by side between Dave Lindemann and Andy Gill. Hayden Smith watching it all unfold in front of him, but he's had enough of that. He wants the race lead, goes up the inside and just very politely moves Andy Gill off of that inside line, and will take the race lead as they come down in towards Graham Hill Bend for the first time of 9. But it is the 25 of Hayden Smith, the 2 of Andy Gill, and the 133 of Dave Lindemann inside the top 3 in the Formula 400s.
As the GP Originals come across the line with Phil Atkinson leading Josh Wainwright by 1.1 seconds there. Phil Stead up next, there's George Higgins, then it's Taylor Chapman, Linton, Brooks, Darryl Higgins, sorry mate, thank you very much for the correction. Griggs and Edge bowls over John, who of course we saw retire from the earlier race, so good to see him back out there and strutting his stuff. Then it's Rankin over the line next. I think it's Thomason might be the one we lost, by the way. Maybe Heggs, actually. Sorry, hard to keep up as the 400s come across the line.
Again, Dave Lindemann carries so much corner speed around Paddock Hill Bend there. He's around the outside of Hayden Smith. They're going, well, they're sandwiching Andy Gill now. 3 wide as he go. Oh, there's definitely contact there. And, well, that's going to be Marley McKenzie saying thank you very much. And Hayden Smith trying to hold on to that second position, but his dad's there in the way and goes from 3rd to 1st, doesn't run wide and holds on to the race lead. So a very dramatic couple of corners then in the 400s, but somehow Hayden Smith went from 3rd to 5th to 1st in 2 corners.
That was a remarkable little bit of a move there. I think he'll have a smile on his dial after that little exercise. I bet it's one he doesn't want to repeat in any great hurry at all, because that was definitely stuff. I'm surprised it kept, everybody kept it upright. Yeah. That looked like it was going to get very messy very quickly as Atkinson comes across the line with the purple sector in sector 1, but sector 2 goes the way of Wainwright as he tries to hold on to that gap. He goes a little bit slower than his rival. We are talking hundredths of a second here. Gap is 1.2. Phil Stead still in 3rd place there, but slipping back a little bit further because nobody can stay with these two. They are absolutely flying, already making it around the top there as Bradley keeps it on the 400.
Oh, one of the Smiths a little bit wide there. Looks like that was Nick. He was in 2nd, down in the 4th place now, trying to hang on to that 3rd place now, but Dave Lindemann around the outside at Graham Hill Bend. He will take 3rd position then, ahead of Nick Smith, former champion in the Formula 400s and sub-64s, and Andy Gill right there with them as well. But no, that's very close, just 1 lap ago there. But Phil Atkinson then in the GP Originals leads the way by 1.5 seconds and sets the fastest lap of the race on that previous lap. But they are now up around Druids and heading down towards Graham Hill Bend. Some of the slower 400s will come into play here for the quicker of the Originals, and vice versa as well. The quicker 400s now catching up to the slower of the GP Originals there, as Marley McKenzie just about makes it through on the tail ender, and Andy Gill likewise as well.
Yeah, the old back marker lottery coming into play here. We've seen this quite a few races here today, and I think that could be Atkinson just getting held up just a little bit as he's forced very, very wide indeed. This hopefully will mean his rival go a little bit quicker, because he went double purple last time for a 52.123. This time Atkinson comes across the line with a 52.484, so he hasn't lost much, but it's Wainwright who goes quickest in sector 2. There comes a 52.2, gets the gap back down to 1.1 seconds, so certainly not an insurmountable gap. We certainly know the determination of Josh Wainwright. He might be feeling it a little bit. He'll certainly feel it in the morning, but he's not going to let this one go, that's for sure, as Atkinson comes down the hill into Graham Hill Bend once again. Wainwright chasing hard. I think he might have held up a little bit by Druids again by the back marker there. 400s there across the line as well. What's your order there? Looks like Gill's dropping back a little bit, is he, mate?
Yeah, it's Hayden Smith who leads the way in that particular battle then. Sorry, it's Nick Smith, my apologies. Nick Smith, Dave Lindemann, Marley McKenzie, Hayden Smith, Andy Gill, and then Alicia Layton in 6th position in that particular scrap. But that is, well, Nick Smith against the youngster, 19-year-old South African of Dave Lindemann, 1st and 2nd. Then there's a bit of a gap back now to Marley McKenzie, Andy Gill, Hayden Smith, and Alicia Layton right there in 6th position as well. But Yeah, like I say, a bit of a gap between second and third position, but Nick Smith, well, has been racing, or started racing about 30 years ago, didn't he, Nick?
Yes.
I'm sure he wouldn't appreciate me saying that, but it's been said now. Sorry, Nick.
No, he's allowed to say because he's got a 20-something-year-old son that whose backside he quite regularly kicks, so I don't think he'll
is currently
be too
doing
upset.
as well.
Yes. Yeah, no, he's a very quick guy indeed. He did actually race at a very high level back in his youth, or relative youth anyway, for him, so clearly a serious contender at one stage of his life, and he's certainly been very quick here at the British Motorcycle Racing Club in pretty much everything we've seen him in. Good to see Hayden getting out onto a different bike too, going out in the Thunder bike. What's he doing? The Ultras? The Extremes?
The Ultras, I think it's eligible for, yeah.
The Kawasaki, the older square back Kawasaki there. Right, where are our leaders got to there?
Well, Phil Atkinson making his way down the dip and up towards Druids as we speak now.
Josh Wainwright there. Josh there now, thank you very much. Yep, another back marker is that. Another couple of back markers might come into play yet. No, Atkinson dealing with them very rapidly today indeed. Yeah, unfortunately, Josh can't quite close that gap. He lost that little bit at the start there, and he got shuffled back. It's 1.7 seconds. Fastest man on the track. Oh, gee, guess who? Down in third place in class, though. Let's see, 0.8 of a second behind Sean Brooks, so he's doing the back marker shuffle as well. Here's Mr. Lindemann, but he is leading the Formula 400s only the second time on the bike. What a pace, Matt.
Yeah, onto the Cooper Straight now. They're using all of the track a little bit more there, as is Nick Smith, but well, the leader of the 400s getting into the thick of things now with some of the slightly quicker GP originals. As they make their way in towards the left-hander of Surtees, then onto the right-hander of Clearway's Clark Curve, which will bring them very nicely onto the front straight. But Atkinson leads the way in the GP Originals by 2.6 seconds. We are onto the penultimate lap now, as Atkinson makes his way down from Druids in towards Graham Hill Bend there. Josh Wainwright not quite close enough to mount a challenge here. He's got a back marker to contend with as well. But I can hear the screaming 400s in the background, and that is Dave Lindemann, who's at yellow in both sectors on this particular lap, but still at 1.5 seconds quicker than any other 400 on that lap.
Absolutely flying. Atkinson looking pretty settled in that lead now. 2.6 seconds to the good as he comes towards the last lap flag, which will be going out in just a moment for the popular South African. And once again, the Rose MOT Centre supported machine is out in front. I'd like to say where it belongs. He feels it belongs there. Wainwright probably feels the JW MOT Centre one belongs out in front. So it's a battle of the MOT centres here at the moment, and definitely going the way of the South African. And well done, Phil. It's a really remarkable effort. He did chip his elbow in a unusual crash at Cadwell Park earlier in the year. Certainly not slowing him down now as he eyes up another couple of 400s. He has a lock over his shoulder. He's very good looking behind him, actually. I'm surprised he hasn't raced with a mirror on his bike, the amount of time he spends looking over his shoulder. Lindemann with the fastest lap once again there. He's just been passed by Linton on that lap, actually, but he's very rapid here. 51.569. He is absolutely flying, the kid. He really is not quite on lap record pace in the 400s. You've got to be into Chris Burridge's speed in the 50s as Atkinson takes the checkered flag there very handsomely from Josh Wainwright. Josh will be a little bit disappointed with that. However, let's see, 3 wins and a second place. I'll take that any day of the week, quite frankly, across 2 very different classes as well. Genuinely really impressive stuff there. Phil Stent, it is, who takes the third in the 350 class ahead of Taylor Chapman up next. First of the Masters there for Chapman as well. 250s goes the way of Thomas.